Thank you. So now what is happening is that, because we are going online, and yesterday only in the news we have heard a big scandal about the Delhi boys, and which is shameless, and also a small child who is actually, indulging in bad language, and so these kind of things which are going on in on online. So because we are not prepared mentally with this kind of a scenario, and we have to be mature enough, and so a lot of crimes are coming in, and the police crime branch is becoming very active that way. So we have to understand this scenario and how to prevent these crimes. That is very, very important. And Dr. Sunana is going to explain to you the whole scenario, that how things have changed and what can be done in the future. So I welcome again all the participants in Dr. Sunana, and also my team of Mata Sundar College who has organized this webinar. So over to you, Dr. Sunana.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for Mata Sundari College to intervene at this particular point of time. I think I must congratulate Dr. Harpreet Kaur for initiating this webinar and the team of Dr. Harleen to start this particular session and invite me for sharing my experience and what little knowledge I have on this topic by virtue of being the OSD of Institute of Cybersecurity and Law, or while teaching PPT over here,
Yeah, yeah,
in
please.
set the tone for which are there. So as Dr. Harpreet Kaur already stated that what has happened 2 years back, as 2 days back actually, has set the tone that how families can really be upset and be devastated at times because of the cyber hazards or the threats which are available in the cyberspace. Basically, or maybe there are certain people who still think that cyber laws or cyber security is per se a domain of a lawyer. Why should a person of any other domain, be it commerce, political science, Hindi, somebody who is interested in finance, should have any kind? The first thing which comes before law is what we are seeing today. So we are starting our webinar on cyber crimes and how to prevent or perhaps how to save ourselves or our family members or our near and dear ones during the interactions which we have in cyberspace. And it's not only limited to lockdown time or COVID-19 time. It's primarily something which is ongoing, persistent. There is nothing which is today but which was not yesterday and which will significantly change tomorrow. So when we talk about cyber crimes, first thing is it new? Do you really think it has come up or emerged 2 days back when the Instagram group of boys locker room was there, or some threatening messages have been given by students of school means less than 18 even, and not some XYZ school. They have been from the best of the schools, some of the best of the schools from South Delhi and so on. So is it like there is a particular strata or there is a particular set or group of people who are victims of cybercrime? That's perhaps what we are going to discuss today. That how it unfolds, to whom it can affect, works, and how come primarily if you take hygiene, you can be by and large safe in the cyberspace. I would not say that we can boycott cyberspace completely, because definitely information and technology has divine capabilities, and we must move ahead and grow with the kind of world. But at the same time, we need to have some checks and balances, which is going to enhance our efficiency, or how we use it for our benefit rather than we fell prey of it. So, what significant things we have noticed in the domain of cybercrimes during the COVID 19 times, we are going to discuss it today. Perhaps I would like to emphasize that it's not only related to people who are working in cybersecurity as a hardcore techies, or it's not related completely to only people who are LLBs or LLMs or lawyers. So some people though believe it that it should be taken up by lawyers, why we have cyber attacks become so very pertinent, especially in the times of COVID. Scalar, Zscaler is one of the most successful MNC across the globe in handling and protecting cyber threats for different kind of organizations, and published that more than 30,000% increase has been there in the COVID times in cyber attacks. So be specific, please see specifically that this was published on 23rd April, right? Just 10 days back, 10-15 days back, and the scale of operation which has increased 30,000%, and you compare the scale of operation which is happening in rest of the activities, economic, manufacturing, or any other activities, they have come to zero almost. It's not 30,000 absolute number, it's 30,000%. So when we say 30,000%, how it was or it has grown till March, if you see this particular graph, small graph of presentation which Zscaler has presented in their attempts to control cyber attacks, they said that around 1,200 attacks were there, which they defended. So around 1,200 attacks were there in January 2020, 10,000 became in February, and 3,80,000 attacks in March. And if you move further, you will find out that in the first couple of weeks itself, almost 80 to 90,000 were reported. So what the data has been shown is primarily of the which has been reported so far, not those which are unreported. And the devastating, or I would say more harmful consequences are there from unreported cybercrimes, which actually perpetuates into a larger difficulty for individuals as well as for organizations. So if you see that largely it's phishing attacks, 85%, 25% is malicious websites. So how these phishing attacks and website work and how does it impact an individual? That's what we are perhaps going to see. So these initial slides are primarily to show you that and that's why this webinar has been conducted. The numbers are increasing day by day, and it's not something which is going to decrease unless we have increased our awareness levels, we increase it, or we see it as a perpetual threat, and we start conditioning our minds, our family's minds, and our youngsters' mind, and mentoring from the parents is at the same time required. So this is the first kind of phishing online, and because these days we are under lockdown, majority of our activities are scanned, and we are not able to go out and do the rest of the things which we are doing. So we are having idle time, right? So when we have time, we try to explore it, that let's use this, let's use that. it in a better way. Let's be more productive. Let's search something online. Let me read something. That's a very good idea. To go on different website, we found, this was simple one. This is what I was doing actually, and I got it on my screen. I was just searching some of the stocks and seeing that whether and which particular fund is having this stock. And suddenly, after 5 minutes, when I came back to this particular page, which is shown here, see, you can see there are numerous pages open here, right? So when I was searching, and the moment I came back, I found this red, red, red everywhere. And then I read it, the red color text, highlighted one, red, yellow, so that it catches my attention. Now, what catches my attention? Who was the first Indian Prime Minister? Hello? Who was the first Prime Minister? 2007. So this is a very old trick for iPhone 5, then iPhone 6, then 7, 10, and so on. So primarily, you can see that how efficiently they have captured the screen, right? And attempted to lure the person who is on the other end, that if they put up or click on it to answer, they can simply win an iPhone. Now, this is the most easiest vulnerability for kids. They want gadgets, they want some other devices, and at times parents says no to them. See, these are not the times which were 30 years back or 50 years back. There are people who are elder to me who are here in this group. If we recollect our times, we used to hear from our parents, no, you will not get this. And that's the end of the discussion. So we try to do the same thing these days, but it doesn't help. And perhaps I would think that it's an opportunity for the parents that they have got to should not have it, right? Something which we have done, or the answer which we have got 30 years back, 25 years back, or 20 years back, may not work today. The scenario was different, the environment was different. Nobody used to have these kind of gadgets in those times. Even if I remember my childhood days, television was not there in each home, at least not in my home till a particular class. I think 10th or 12th. So that made the entire scenario of society, your peer groups, your relatives, they all make a group for or a social group for your child in which they see and grow. And if they see even one person having a gadget with him or her, then they also ask for the same thing. And if you say simply no, then they are mostly, lured to click on these kind of freebies. So you need to tell your children at home that see, this is something which is really a trance eventually. So this is the time, and if you read today's newspapers, if you don't have newspaper through electronic versions, that even the police, the child psychologist, the criminal lawyers, the cyber lawyers, the social workers in the domain of cyber crimes, they all are saying that children should talk to their parents, parents should educate children. But before parents educate their children, they should also know that what are the probable threats. So what I'm trying to highlight over here through this particular point is the concern which ma'am has raised while setting the tone for the webinar, that it's high time we must know these things and explain it to the children that see why it doesn't work. You fill this form, you give all your information. What information you give? You give your PII is personal identifiable information. Personal identifiable information is all those informations which are also related to your bank account, which is also there in different kind of your stock broking accounts or your mutual fund connections or different account. See, when you enter for any kind of account opening, you do not change your date of birth, you do not change your address, your name is same, your email ID is same, your phone number is same. And in certain level 2 identification, even your mother maiden's name will remain same. So these are PII. If you disclose this in such petty forms, then perhaps you have given the data to majority of cyber criminals out there. So why do they do this and how do they do this? They just pamper themselves on the fear and greed. They lure you or they exploit your fear. So the last example was luring, and the examples of COVID-19 is fear based. So how it has worked, you can see this is one of the cybersecurity providing solution providing company, Kaspersky, and they have also reported on 14th March that there has been a significant increase in the threats which they have detected across countries, and they are not just small threats; they are huge in numbers, and there are 22 different type of threats which are there, which includes a lot of different means and modes. Now, when we see different means and modes, we can find a lot on Google itself. Now, you will say that, then what we will do? For anything we need to know, we go to Google, we search it, right? That's true, we search it, but what Google produce is the web pages or the search results. But if you see this black color ad, this is not what Google produce. This is what Google shares through selling, right? This is what it sells, a space, a small space on the page through which it works. And as an intermediary, Google is an intermediary, and they cannot actually keep an hold of what is being posted from which part of the world on Google. This is almost impossible. So they have the role as an intermediary, but they also have certain exemption. And they themselves says that 2.7 billion bad ads per minute. That means that the cyber criminals are actually way more creative and way more creative and organized in doing their crimes also. They are actually having proper advertisement so that people can be, can be lured effectively because there is a anonymity. Now, if you see this first example in various websites and portals which are being sold, there is either a faulty piece or there is either a delivery of a piece which is working, but actually it doesn't work. It will not catch up somebody who's having fever as a thermal tester, and it will not be able to detect. Similarly, get a vaccine for the most. These were in the initial ones. But as and when there are, because if you see every day's newspaper or news channel reports, you will find out that each and every country, each and every virology lab or a pharmaceutical R&D company, they are trying to bring out a vaccine. So any day you will find any news that say this particular app is going to have a X-ray which is going to, so that you believe in it, like this one. If you don't get the gravity of believing, then there are various people who were the targets of mobile user targets. Like there were fake apps. They said that your phone will vibrate when you are near to a COVID-19 patient. Now take a moment and think that whether this particular app is going to have a X-ray which is going to, scan the lungs of the person who is infected with COVID-19, and it's going to have a trace of it, and then it will beep, or it has a, test with it that that it will be tested positive. How is it possible? But eventually, many people fell prey of it, and apps which were there for COVID-19 alerts were also having exploits our time, and we have seen that, and it's not very difficult. And what they need is just to put it in your phone. And now, because you are under lockdown, earlier cyber criminals have different methods of doing it, putting the exploit in the device of people. But one more option comes to them is through the apps. Now, how to safeguard yourself from the apps? Let's just find out that how they gather data and what are the basic grounds of capturing raw material for doing a cyber crime. So there were things like Xiaomi phones may reveal your private search. There are similar kind of approaches which are there for news, which are what I say normally, that always treat not who put a gate and a see-through gate, or a gate with a website or a webcam, or so that you can see what who is standing outside the gate. So the person who is standing outside the gate cannot enter inside the house. And access to your house, because inside your house you have different things which exhibit or which provide information about how you live, about what or where which place you keep your cash, which place you keep your other important documents, and so on. Please start treating your mobile as, or your device, any other device which you use for, especially for financial transactions or other important transaction, as your house. As you safeguard your house, you keep restricted entry to your house. Even when people who are known to you come, they only sit in your drawing room. Everybody doesn't have an access to your bedroom. Everybody doesn't have an access to your kitchen, right? Why do you do this? Because there are different people who come to your house. You have some work with them. Fine. The interaction or access of them into your house is limited to the work you have. Like you are visiting, you are having a maid. Not these days. That's a luxury. So if you ask somebody to call, if you have called somebody to do your household work, you give them access to only that part of house. You give them access to only that part of house where they have their work. And even during that, you keep an eye on them. You keep your actual use. Surfing like freebies, surfing on different apps,
Dr. Sunana, can you please present the PPT? I think it got interrupted, the PPT. Can you please put it again? I think there's some connection issue.
shared the screen in a smaller way, a window. Let me do it. Was it
So
audible
I think others can just switch
and
off their video
visible?
because that is consuming a lot of data. There would be network congestion in that
So,
case.
this is another
Everyone is requested to switch
way.
off their.
Yeah, because that's what was written on it, that
Uh,
the call is
I think
having heavy traffic of data.
everyone is please. Yes, yes. Please, everyone is requested to switch off their videos.
So can you see the PPT now again? The slide?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. I can see.
Yes.
Yeah, you can start that.
Harleen?
Yeah, yeah, we can see, ma'am.
Okay. But organization who is having a standing or repute, like you will find a logo of WHO, or but in general, where it comes to financial transaction or some other links, you will find largely spelling mistakes or spelling reordering. Right, that's the first basic thing. And what they are doing in general in COVID is online deliveries, online shopping, groceries, and this you might have seen liquor. Day before yesterday, it was open, so another scenario was there. But when it was closed, there were pictures of liquor shop that they are being sold, like here on the Facebook, or it was traveling on WhatsApp also. And there was a small link: pay here, a delivery would be made, but after 2 hour or 3 hour. A known shop in your locality is shown over there in the picture, and then when you make the payment, nothing happens.
Hmm.
No delivery comes up. So primarily people were able to find out that they have a risk and return if they get it at home. So there were a lot of people who actually lost their money just a few week back, especially in different states where because of lockdown the liquor was not available and tobacco. So when we talk about all these 4 or 5 cases, in short, they are primarily thriving on the data which you give. Data which you give through fake forms, through clicking or downloading fake apps. Now, how to identify an app is fake? So when an app is fake, if you go to Play Store, you will find out that a particular app is actually not having many downloads, right, and subscriber. You will find out, like I have seen, I was just trying, and it's not only on App Store, Google Play, it's also on App Store. Like I found one app, COVID-19 with red diagram. It doesn't have a double screen sharing thing. So there were only 32 people who have responded to it or have downloaded it. There was another app which was downloaded by 12 people or was subscribed by 12 people. So when you download an app, please check how many people have already downloaded it, how many subscribers have commented on it. Because if it's a fake app, you will find out that very few people have downloaded it. That means it's circulated amongst a particular group and it's primarily for a hack. And those who have downloaded also, it's only for testing that whether it is working for a hack or not. So perhaps it's a trap. And another thing is that when it is little large number has been there, then you read the reviews. You will definitely find some of the awkward reviews for that particular app if it is a if it is a trap. So now going to what you can do to safeguard yourself in the next part, you basically have to take up the cyber hygiene. Is it now visible? So why we focus on cyber hygiene? Cyber hygiene basically works on three parameters. It addresses the vulnerabilities, right? Which could be from emerged as a threat, and basically provides you a safeguard. So safeguards, if you take, will automatically reduce your exposure to vulnerabilities, will reduce your exposure. What are the threats? Threats are the information about you, the information that how old is your parent, the information of yourself, of your spouse. I discuss in many of my lectures also that majority of our passwords are what? Husband ka naam, uska date of birth, or simple things which is based on your PII. Why? Because you think that other information or other kind of passwords you will forget. There is another trait that people keep one password for all their accesses, for all their accounts. That's also a wrong choice actually. In a recent interaction with one of the research scholar, I found out that one teacher who was submitting certain number of papers in different journals, she submitted through one link, but got mail from another journal asking for $250 UK, sorry, UK same which she has submitted to one of the journal. But the journal was another one, right? She submitted into some commerce related journal, but the email came from engineering and commerce. So you have to be a little cautious that where you are submitting your paper. No good journal will contact you through WhatsApp or these links, right? Link of a particular page or a submission thing or a website. Then some of like iOS give this option. It highlights that this message is carrying a spurious link. Spurious link means that the link which has been clicked by different people and found to be a cyber hack. So you need to basically imbibe cyber hygiene that you have to take care, which will take care of the rest of the threats. Now, what are cyber hygiene? When we say cyber hygiene, what are cyber hygiene? Basically, using unlimited apps on phone and devices. So, as I said earlier, treat your phone or device as your house. Do you keep unlimited number of servants or unlimited people in your house, whether you want to have work with them or not? Like, you think that there is one photocopy shop wala nearby your place, but you may need to get a photocopy any point of time, so you ask him to stay at your home. Do you do that? No, you don't do it, right? So please keep your phone or device like your home. Things which are extremely essential are kept at home, or people who are outside your family members who are extremely essential to you are given access to your house, right? Similar notion, every time you download an app should be exercised. That whether this app is extremely important for me, for my day-to-day working, for all the time type of communication, right? So yes, if you get a yes, download it. If you get a no, then leave it. There is nothing in your life which will change just by not downloading an app. There are different ways to do a thing. Storing personal information in your contact list. This I have already been sharing with a lot of teachers and other groups where I have been invited to deliver lecture. This is a basic what we do. हम अपने फोन के कॉन्टैक्ट लिस्ट में अपना बैंक का नाम, अकाउंट नंबर, डेबिट कार्ड का नंबर और एटीएम पिन, ये सब उसमें सेव करके रखते हैं क्योंकि हमें तो याद रहेगा नहीं. और but I have one question, that why do you do that? You are there is no point in the contact list of your phone, because any app, now we may be judicious in downloading app, not that we don't download any app. And these days, for some your name, your phone number, your address at which the food is delivered, the account which is linked to your Zomato app for making the payment, because we can't remember in general our account details, so we give save contact details, right? Save my card details, save everything, because I am useless at times. I will not be able to find out my card and punch the information. So we ask a right? But that should not be 2 minutes of majority of your financial scams. And then we have to give certain types of access to pictures, calendars, and other apps when we are using. Perhaps iOS apps do not ask for access to certain things like location, pictures for all time. But I have seen Android-based or Play Store apps which do not have that option. They don't give the app doesn't making a call. With my microphone of the device and the camera. Why? Non-teaching back as well. अगर आप अपना फोन यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, व्हाट्सएप नहीं चला रहे हैं, किसी को कॉल नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो व्हाट्सएप को आपके और फोन के माइक्रोफोन का जिससे आवाज आती है उसका एक्सेस क्यों चाहिए? या कोई और ऐप, गेमिंग ऐप, उसको आपके कैमरे का और फोन का माइक्रोफोन का एक्सेस क्यों चाहिए? That's because they are capturing the keywords, that's because they are capturing the environment in which you are sitting. You might have experience, you are asking or talking about a discount on this particular pizza for 30% or 40% in this time of delivery. It's precisely because they are capturing your microphone even when it is not in use. So certain apps ask this even when you're not using it. Certain apps or remove the access on microphone, or at least allow them only when you're making a video call or a call to access to your microphone of the phone. Similarly, doing mobile banking with the same device, different apps. How many times you have done that? You went to a vendor, किसी सब्जी वाले के पास या किसी ग्रोसरी के पास, और आप अपना वॉलेट देके उसको कहो कि भैया ये रख लो वॉलेट, मैं आपसे सामान लेने आते रहूंगी या आते रहूंगा, हर महीने 10 दिन में या 15 दिन में मुझे कुछ ना कुछ खरीदना ही होता है, या फॉर दैट मैटर एवरी डे, आप मेरा वॉलेट अपने पास रखो, जब जितने का हिसाब हुआ करे इसमें से माइनस कर दिया करो. हैव यू एवर डन दिस? If your answer is no, then why do you do this by saving your card details in a mobile app or in any other shopping portal? And if you have been doing it because there are certain apps which necessitates you, like Amazon. आपको अगर credit card से payment करनी है Amazon पे, so you will have to save your card, then make payment. But then there is an option which it doesn't tell, which has to be searched, that remove your card. So imbibe that habit into your hygiene, cyber hygiene. What is hygiene? Like we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we take a shower, we change our clothes, right? That is a hygiene. Similarly, we need to have cyber hygiene. And posting too much of information is another problem because that gives the leakages. Focusing on financial transaction when you have, these messages are largely shared by RBI and banks also. But it's not only just because that there will be a trap and you will lose money. The problem is that there are chances, bleak chances, that you may lose money without even giving or sharing your username and password. In all those cases, RBI gives a protection that you will get back each single penny if you report it within 3 days. If you report it after 3 days, up to 10 days, then you 5,000 rupees is deducted and rest of the amount is credited. But if you share your username and password, even with your spouse, please be very clear, even with your spouse, forget about your habit of giving your debit card to your spouse and asking them ki zara paise le aana, right? Either of you. I'm not saying who, husband or wife, either of you. This is a basic cyber hygiene. If any amount is debited, your RBI protection is seized the moment you share your username and password, even with your spouse. So be very careful. Whenever you want to draw money, go to the ATM on your own. I mean, inside the ATM on your own. Obviously, you can ask your husband or spouse to come along, but not withdrawing money. So do not give your password and username. Now, there are certain people who have asked me कि उनको कैसे पता चलेगा कि मैंने निकाल लिया या मेरे spouse ने निकाल लिया. And if you are careful, there is always a video camera in an ATM, and they trace down the entire 1 year of transaction history. The moment you withdraw money, there is a transaction generated. उस transaction में date, time, place of withdrawal सब कुछ होता है. Bank takes normally 30 to 45 days, depending on different bank to bank, to check that whether these credentials are same or not, right? So, like this, I was saying that Amazon select a payment method. If you want to have it as debit card or ATM card, then you have to add. But later on, it's here, your account, payment options. When you click on this, you will find remove card details, which is very important. So these were small things because I have a meeting at 12 o'clock for the university admissions. So I have to get back. I've taken a lot of time. I'm really thankful to Mata Sundari College for giving this opportunity. If there are questions, quick questions, we can take them.
Ma'am, there are questions in the chat box.
Okay.
And if participants would like, there is, if you can direct questions, one.
I have seen that there is Arpita call. I save card number, but I don't save CVV. Is it saved? See, partially because the 12-digit, 16-digit card number at times works for them. So how much time does it take, Arpita? I mean, just take out your debit card. Or if you are so very, particular that I have to go to some particular place and they'll then find out my card and so on. So you keep a note of it, but not in your phone, especially if you don't have an iPhone. Then notes in the iPhone is one place which is not having access, which is not being asked for access from any of the apps. So So that is a safer, relatively safer version, and you can keep a backup copy of it on iClouds. But if you are using an Android based phone, perhaps you can go a little offline mode, thoda sa, brick and mortar style mein you keep a small diary with you or some place where you can keep it, right? But in general, if you think, you always carry your wallet, it's there at your home. So bring that hygiene into your daily life. That will actually reduce your permutations and combinations. Please mail the PPT. We are not able to see the presentation. Well, you can find out the details of protections in my book also, which is also available in ebooks. It's e-business and cyber laws. A lot of details are given over there. It's authored by Sharma, JP, and myself on Bharat Laws thing. And these stuff, which are the daily basis examples, I'll share the slides with Harleen, and Mata Sundari College can perhaps put up the slides on their website. Voice is breaking. That was because a lot of people were having videos on.
Ma'am,
And when I was delivering, I was not able to see all these stats.
there's a question by Dr.
Question
Rajni.
one has come.
If someone is using a different
Yeah.
emails and yeah, please.
I can't read that question. I can only read his congratulations. Harleen, can
Yeah,
you tell me the
it
question?
is written if
If
someone's
someone
using
is
different emails and mobile numbers for
using different
different
Gmails,
apps, different emails and mobile numbers for different apps and websites and for online banking purposes, then is it safe?
you have no option. It will take access, right? It will gather some of the information which is there. When I showed the Xiaomi's phone, though Xiaomi says that no, we are not doing, we take care of cybersecurity, but it's not. There may be some or the other ways with which even which page of internet you visit is recorded. So you understand that whatever you do on the virtual space has a print which is in non-deletable manner and is open to various other people, right? So the point is, even you have different email IDs and different phone numbers, then the device will actually give your information of phone number and email to other people. So if you have one set of information, there will be another set of information. So say for some people who are using phone and mobile banking or app banking for one particular purpose, then they are having one set of information. But if you have say 3 bank accounts and all three have 3 different email IDs and 3 different phone numbers, then you have 3 set of information. Your probability of being picked up is 3 times now. You're getting. So if you are having a necessity of using an app based banking, then perhaps on that device you should not take up any kind of games. Largely it's from games. Then you should avoid having
देखो करमन, avoid
restrict
games on mobile.
your information. Yes,
इसमें ना अपना birthday
mobile games or any kind of free games. फ्री गेम तो न्योता है. आप खुद सोचो ना, कोई फ्री में आपको क्यों कुछ देगा? वो तो आपको बुला के दे रहे हैं कि एक्चुअली दे आर इनवाइटिंग यू एंड यू आर हैप्पीली गिविंग योर इन्फॉर्मेशन. या एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? Because when I speak, I don't read. I'm not Viru Sahastra Buddhi ki मैं पढ़ते भी जाऊँ और बोलते भी जाऊँ. So somebody will have to keep an eye on the questions, if any.
There's a very
Can
relevant
we save bank details?
Yeah, sorry.
On note, Ujjwala Pathak raised, ma'am, can we save bank details on note of mobile? Again, I am not sure about the Google or Android-based notes, that what kind of access is being given. But largely, we have seen that iOS notes are relatively safe. But keep changing it, or don't write explicitly bank account number. They thrive on it. वो hashtag सर्च मारते हैं और वो सारी चीजें ऊपर आ जाती हैं. कि SBI का अकाउंट है, अकाउंट नंबर ये है. So don't be very explicit. If you want to have something indicative, you can keep it, and not the password.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, there are different ways to keep it discreet, you know. बट बेस्ट इज नॉट टू सेव इट ऑन योर डिवाइस. एक तो जो हमारी आदत होती है ना कि हर अकाउंट खोला और लैपटॉप पे, डेस्कटॉप पे, फोन पे सेव पासवर्ड, सेव दिस, सेव दैट, वो ना करें तो बेटर है. अर्लीन की
uh,
yes,
Ma'am, we
that this
can
has been
take,
done. Any other
yeah,
thing?
we can take one last question. I think I'm just clubbing the two questions. Two of the people have asked. They want to ask
Mm-hmm.
you to discuss about the safety of Zoom and Arogya Setu app.
Yeah, so Arogya Setu, again, I have told you the safety, definitely Arogya Setu thrives on data. So if you are going out quite often, you should download it. It is helping government actually. Once these things are over, then you perhaps remove it once the this COVID-19 threat is over and other things, because the government is relying on this data. So it's working basically that whatever data they have of COVID-19 patients, they are attaching it with the phone number and other, and they are keeping them on surveillance. So that's how it's working, but it is taking access. So suppose somebody, I was just thinking that somebody who has COVID-19 and is in isolation, but he switches off his phone and go out and roam, तो phone तो उसका घर पे ही दिखाएगा, or even the phone is on and is kept at home. But still, something is better than nothing. So it is helping government a lot in gathering and keeping surveillance. So you can have that and keep a reliance of it. But basically, please follow the guidelines given by the government of social distancing and other things of 1 meter distance, mask, and stuff like washing your hands and following yoga, meditations, and other stuff. So Arogya Setu is, yes, there for safety of the app. You should download the app which is having maximum number of subscribers, comments attached to it. There are more than lakhs of downloads of Arogya Setu app. I even saw searched on Arogya Setu. I found 2, 3 Arogya Setu types thing on Google Play Store. On iOS there is one app, but there are other different apps in the name of COVID-19 and stuff like that. Another was Zoom. Yeah, Zoom meeting, same thing. Avoid downloading Zoom on your phone because Zoom takes access to a lot of your data. Uh, the same email ID, like here you can work on the basis of Rajnikant, that do not use your email ID or phone number which is there for bank account credentials in your Zoom app or the Zoom which you have downloaded. So basic problem was that Zoom is taking the information and sharing it with different sources. So the information which you are giving is this. In general, I suggest that don't keep your data which is important. Maybe if you're a scholar, your PhD files, the work you are doing, your lectures and other stuff in your laptop or desktop. That if suppose ransomware attack is there, then you say okay, take access, you format the entire laptop and you have your data, right? So then it becomes waste for them. So what they do is when they have access to your system, they block it for your usage and ask for money and other things to refurbish it. So Harleen, it's 12 o'clock, I have to join another meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Sunena, for giving us so much of your time, telling us about cybercrime, how to prevent it, cyber hygiene, and things like that. I also take this opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. Harpreet Kaur, who has given us this opportunity to and encouraged us to organize this webinar. A big thank you to our technical team, Ishpreet, Priyanka, Sangeeta, and above all to all the participants for such an overwhelming response. As Harleen pointed out in the beginning,
Take any more questions as Sunena ma'am had to go for another meeting. So this webinar is over now. we are going to close the meeting now.